Hello, hello, hello. This is Frida. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to part 2 on how to knit top down V-neck crop bolero or shrug, whichever you like to call it. Okay, so I have been knitting, and what I did is I went back and I restarted. This time, instead of that, I did not like the quality of the fabric when it's knit up, so I'm knitting with 2 strands of this. Remember, I started knitting this, and you can see that I didn't like the fabric when I'm knitting with 1 strand of this and 1 strand of the Italian yarn. I didn't like the quality of the fabric, so I went back because I want to give that Ballinger look, that nice halo look. So and this didn't give me enough halo on the garment, and I didn't like the fabric, so I switched to knitting with 2 strands of yarn. Okay, so I've been knitting, and I'm up to, what you do is, either from the sleeve area or from the back, you measure. Okay, this is 7.5 when I'm measuring from here. Okay, for a small size, it's supposed to be 7.5. For extra small, it's supposed to be 7. And then you divide the body parts. But I'm going to do short rows. I didn't do short rows here, so I want to give that back a little bit of lift. So from here, I'm going to knit just the back area. I do have a separate tutorial, but I'm just going over just to let you know. So I'm going to divide the body parts, and with only this part, I'm going to be knitting back and forth, and I will show you again. So before I do that, I want to go over what we've been doing increases. Okay, so I started right here. I made an increase, and I knit 1, I made an increase, knit 1, and I made an increase. So I usually do 3 here, but I don't like that puffiness at the end. Even when I block it, I can see it. No one else can see it because I'm the one who knit it, right? So I didn't like the look of it. So now I'm doing with 1. Make 1, knit 1, make 1, knit 1, make 1, and then you continue. You go knit 1, make 1, knit, 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 make 1, knit, make 1, and then you will increase here on both sides. Okay, don't forget that to make the V-neck. There's another technique that I use, which I didn't do increases here, and it gave me that straight line. Those are usually for bigger sizes, but for small, extra small and small, I don't use that technique. And so I made an increase here, increase here, increase here, and repeat what I did at the beginning of the shrug. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, right now, I'm just going to knit, and just going to grab my other needle. So I switched to 5.5. I knitted up to with the 5 needle. Now I went half a needle size bigger, but I need to knit the back. So with the back, I'm going to knit it with the 5 again, or no, I will knit it with the 5.5. I'm just trying to grab a needle here, so I'll just use the 5 that I have knit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just going to do my last increases. Okay, just like this. I really like this Knitter Pride. Yeah, with the Addy or this, I feel that they're the same. So these are my ones that I really like. So here I make my increase. Okay, this is going to be the last increase. And the measure when you measure it, it should be equal. So I will show you again when I'm at the underarm. Okay, for extra small, I don't do any increases under the underarm, but this is going to be a small size, so I will do 3 stitches increase, and I will show you that. Okay, let me come all the way here. I usually set the set the body parts to a different knitting needle, it's easier for me to grab them instead of, putting them on a yarn or putting them on a tool that you pick up stitches and you hold it. So I like to hold it on my knitting needles. Okay, so I'm almost there. Just wanted to show you. So I come, here is my increase. So I make my increase. Okay, I knit this one. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it increase. To make it increase, I'm going to make 4 stitches in, and when I'm grabbing the other one, I will get rid of the one. So make 4. This way there would be no gaps. Either you can do it this way or this way. Make 1, put 2, 3, 4. You can do it both ways, knit or purl, whichever you feel comfortable. Okay, so on this one, I'm just going to move these stitches from all the way where I did my increase. And here, I'm going to put them on a separate needle. Okay, and I'm just looking. I'll just grab this long one I have so I won't lose any stitches. It's a 4mm knitting needle. It's going to rest there, so I'm not going to knit or anything. Okay, so what I do is move these. Okay, on my other tutorial, which I did this separately, I did a different. So this way, I'm showing on here, I'm showing it different. Okay, well, I think on my tutorial, I did it on the wrong side. And here, I'm going to do it on the right side, just to show you, you can do it both way. But on the wrong side, on the right side, which I'm going to do, I'm going to start knitting. Okay, from here, I'm going to attach a different yarn. And I'm going to start knitting about 2.5 inches. You need that, 2 inches. You need that amount to give that height. And I've been doing this for, I don't know, so many years now. I started doing this short row technique, and this is one of the ways. You don't have to do it here because it has holes. No matter what you do, it has holes, unfortunately. Okay, so, and then I will continue with that other yarn to divide the body parts. Okay, so I'm just going to start, and I will let you go after, because 2 inches is going to take a while for me. So I will see you on part 3 after. But here, what we're going to do is, so I'm going to be knitting with the 5.5. I grabbed the other end. And then I'm going to still do my increase, as you can see here. Okay, right here, I'm knitting, and I'm going to make 1. So I still do my increases that 2 inches long. So this would be my marker, and I would know from there when I measure, I'm going to be knitting 2 inches. Okay, so let me continue knitting, and at the other end I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make my increases. So every time I come, I'm going to make my increases. I need to make the increases for 2 more inches. So I just knit. The other day on my Facebook group, someone was doing twisted. So when you're knitting, see, it has to be not this way. If you do it this way, you're twisting it, and it's not a good way to knit. And then when you're doing this way, it's just a regular. Like, you can knit it from the back, but you can still twist it. See, it's twisted. It's the way you knit, the way you grab your yarn. So I grab it this way. I can grab it from the back, but then it would be twisted. Okay, just wanted to go over that, because there are a lot of people who are getting confused. What's wrong with my knit? And it's the way you're knitting. Okay, so I'm tangled now. Great. Okay, I'm almost at the end here. I just wanted to show you. And yeah, this Angora rabbit yarn is very delicate. Can fix that later. I just wanted to show you. So you knit. Here we are. Okay, here's my part. So I'm gonna knit one, make one, and knit this one. I want this to be included on the back, and then I turn around and I continue knitting. So I repeat this about 2 inches. Okay, so I will come back to show you how to divide the body parts. That's all I'm going to do. Knit, knit, knit. About 2 inches long from where I put my marker, and then we will go from there. Okay, see what I mean? The fabric is totally different. When I knitted with this, it wasn't thick enough. See, it's really thin. This is really thin. Yeah, this is more better. Can you see? Here it's the fabric was totally different. So I just wanted to point out and share you this before I finish it. I had to make a change, and I did the same method. I put my tag right here in the middle, and then I noticed there's lots of knots on this yarn that I bought. I don't understand why there are knots. There shouldn't be, right? If they were sold by cones, I would prefer to buy cones, but unfortunately they're not. Okay, so I will let you go, and I will come back. I can add this to the other video, so I don't think it's going to be part 3, so I'll just continue with part 2. Okay, I will just fixing the knot. Okay. Okay, so I have knit a total of 2 inches where we left, and then let me just measure and show it to you. So where I started, and here we started here where the yarn is, as you can see. So it's actually more than 2 inches, but that's okay. I carried away. Last time I continued knitting, but that's no problem at all. But like I said, if you knit it from if you start separating the body parts from the wrong side, you can just knit this part and then attach this way, or you can do it this way. So I have 2 tutorials. Either way can work. And yeah, either way can work. So from here, I'm going to start knitting, and I will tie this here. Okay, I already did my 3 stitches. So I will tie it on the wrong side when I'm knitting. So right now, what I'm just going to do is knit, knit, knit. Lots of wires, I know, but I like this method. I don't have to worry about, just knit. That's all I do. Okay, so I'm going to grab this yarn, and I'm going to start knitting. Okay, to do that, we're going to knit 2 together to get rid of one, because I cast on 4 stitches. I just need 3. Okay, here we go. And I'm not going to do any more increases because we're done. Okay, so what I do is I just grab this I will, actually I should knit with this end here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Because this is a 5. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to knit these two together. Okay, this way there is no gap or anything. Okay, did I knit two together? I'm just going to redo this part. I don't think I did. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, well, that's okay. So, just wanted to be sure because I don't want to have any extra. What you can also do is, instead of going back and picking up, casting on stitches, I twist it twice. If I twist one, the yarn gets long, and this way I cast on. That's another trick I wanted to show you. I don't know if I showed on my previous tutorials. Sometimes I miss it, and it happens. Okay, so just gonna grab this right here. Grab the other end of the needle. And I'm going to knit those two together. This is already getting loose here. Okay, here we go. Let it go, and I'm going to pull from here. I will fix that when I'm knitting the wrong side. Okay, so this is all we're going to do. Okay, knit, knit, knit to the end of the row. For a small size, I used up about 150 gram of yarn with the Ballinger. So with this one, I'm assuming it's going to be the same, but I'm doubling it, so that's another thing. So we'll see how much yarn I would be using. So I already finished the 50 gram, and I knotted the 100 grams, so 25 gram of yarn, and it's going to be a 3/4 sleeve. So if you're knitting a long sleeve, you would need more, of course, because you need more to knit up the sleeve. Okay, so when I'm at the end, I cast on stitches here. Okay. Okay, almost at the end. If you want, you can measure it, or you can put it on, wear it if you're knitting for yourself. So I'm going to do this technique, which I prefer. In emergency, I use other techniques. So again, I'm going to cast on 4 stitches. This is for the underarm. We need that space. For extra small, I don't cast on, but for small size 2, 3, and 4. For small size, I cast on, oops, I lost that one. For small size, I cast on 4 stitches. It's a little bit tight. Let me just pull this here. Okay. For medium, it changes 5 stitches I cast on. Okay, so I'm going to put this underarm. This is the sleeve area. So I'm going to start from here all the way here. I'm going to move it to a different needle, and I'll just use these prime needles. Yeah, these are not slippery at all. These hold very nicely. So I just move these stitches to this. You don't have to, like I said, you can rest the stitches to a different, like a stitch holder, or usually people do it on a thread yarn. I like it this way. I just continue knitting. I don't have to worry about picking up stitches. It's only this I'm moving the stitches to here. These are live stitches, and I just continue knitting when I'm done the body. Okay. And like I said, I don't do increases. I'm done. But this one, because we did our increases, I'm going to finish doing the increases on the front here. Okay. Okay. So we're done. And then I'm just going to continue knitting from here. I'm going to get rid of one stitch, same as I did on the other sleeve. Or you can do the twist. I did that too, but I like getting rid of a stitch. It's way better. Okay, so I knit these two together and move it here, and I do my increase because I did the increase on the other side. Okay, like on the front as well, I believe, didn't I? Yeah, I did my increase, so that I need to do an increase on this one as well. And then after that, we're done. We don't do any increases. Okay, so I always count my underarm, the stitches, because on the other, I wrote it down, I had 47 stitches, and it doesn't have to be equal. If it's not equal, so if it's not the same numbers, what I do is, when I'm picking up stitches, I pick up less stitches. And I will show you, because we're going to be picking up stitches. There's no holes, nothing. You don't have to worry about sewing, because that's a headache. You knit, 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 and then you have to sew up the pieces, which I hate. That is the reason I really like doing the top down. And for the sleeves, I do it around and around. No, again, no, it's in one piece. And yeah, when you finish, you are finished. You just put your tag on. For the buttons, I don't put buttons because that's an extra cost of $10. I might need to increase my price because the yarns are getting very expensive and getting really rare to find. So yeah, I have to go back at $50 at least for each garment, because I'm knitting for free. It's just the yarn. Very expensive at the moment. Right now, 2023. Today is June the 18th, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to knit this one and make my last increase just like this, and I'm done. And I just knit. This is all I do. Okay, let me just put this and just show you. This is how it looks like. It's just fantastic. It's nice to knit for small sizes because they go fast, but when it's a plus size, it's a little bit tough. More stitches, more yarn involved, right? Okay, so this is how it looks like. And I'm going to continue knitting up till, so what I do is I measure it. I don't measure it from the back because I did that 2-inch extra. That's another thing. So what I do is, when I'm measuring, I come right here. Yeah. That 2 extra inch. So what I do is, when I'm coming, I put my sleeve, my Bolero like this, okay? And I look, okay, the increases are on the same. So what I do is, I start measuring from here. Okay, just put this here. And that's how I measure from here to the hem. It has to be 14 inches for a small size, extra small. When it comes to medium, I play around with 14.5 or 15, and then it goes more because of the body. The wider it becomes, because you need the length, right? So that's another story. Okay, so I'm gonna knit on the wrong side. Oh, look at this. because of this. See, we didn't secure it. So I will do that. Oh, this doesn't look good. I need to fix this. I will fix this. Yeah. I will fix that. I'm just trying to figure out how to fix it. Too much gap. Because this went probably. Yeah, that's why I don't do the twisting. Even I did the two-way. Wasn't, no. See what I mean? It's always nice to cast on the way I showed you. See right here. Oh, see how nice it is? There's nothing wrong here. Well, maybe because there's another yarn on the thread, that maybe that's the reason. I don't know. I'll just need to knit and fix it. Okay, let me go back and fix that, or I'll show you when I go there. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I fixed that gap, and here we are. So there's a total of 3 stitches in the middle. So I'm going to put a marker right here. In the middle, we're going to do decreases every 8 rows. Here we are. So here, what I do is I get rid of 2 stitches every 8 rows to give that nice built on the waist area when it goes down, when it goes to the crop. So that's what I do. When it's a plus, I do increases. I do the opposite. I'm sorry, but it's true, because of the wideness on the waist area. Okay, so I have fixed this part, and I weaved it, and everything's okay. So I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to put my marker. So when I come to the 8th row, I will do my decrease. Okay, so here it is, 1, 2, 3. And then put the marker here. So I already did 1 row. I need to do 7 more. I just count these V's and I continue. So I'm just going to continue knitting. And then when I come, I will show you how to do the decrease. When you put it down, okay, let me just put this here to give you an idea. Okay, so it's easy to show it on the mannequin. It's really hard for me to show it here. So what I'll do is, when I start part 3, I will show you. Okay, so I'm just going to continue knitting, and then we're going to do short rows on here. What we do is we knit up to here, and we don't knit this for, I believe 3 times I do that on both sides. And then to get rid of that, because usually this goes down compared to the sides, so I just don't want that, because I'm using the same needle as this. Like when I pick up stitches, I use a smaller needle, but I like this method. It just looks nice. Yeah, so I will see you on part 3. I will let you go. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to hit that notification button, so every time I post a new video, you will be notified, indicating there's something new for you to watch. Yeah, if you have any questions, comments, please leave them below so I can reply to you. And yeah, this, like I said, this is for a small size, extra small, and I gave you the dimensions on how to knit extra small, the measurement. Oh yeah, I was going to measure it. Before I let you go, let me just measure and show you. Okay, so this is the boost area right here. So I'm just going to measure from this side. It's really hard. Like I said, it's the mannequin easier. So what I do is, here is the blue, and here is the front. So with the measuring tape, I measure it like this. So it's about 14. 14 is like 26 from the front. Yeah. Maybe 13, yeah. It's really hard to measure it. Just measure it from here. Yeah, it's 13. So 13, 13, 26. I would say 14, between 13 to 14. And then you add the back. It gives you the same measurement. So this fits perfectly for a small size. And for the bicep area, what you do is, oops, the camera's falling. The bicep area should be, let's measure it like this, should be 12. For a medium, it's 13. For extra small, it's between 11 to 11 and a half. Sometimes I even had a customer who had 9. So I was not doing every row increase, unfortunately, when they have a small bicep area, right? That's the biggest part of the arm. And then you go down. And usually for a 3/4, I knit about 14 inches, 13 to 14 for extra small. Yeah, and then for a large, the size gets bigger and bigger and longer. Okay, so I hope these measurements help you. Again, if you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. And I do have these tutorials separately already, but I'm focusing closely the details on this video. And I created a playlist, so I will post that, and we'll go from there. Take care, everybody. Happy knitting. Bye-bye. Oh, the knitting needle I'm using is an Addy Lacy knitting needles. Yeah, these are really rare. I bought it, I don't know, over a decade ago.